Hey guys, one of your classmates asked me to explain how to use the Vark inventory. So we're going to do it in a couple of different ways. I am right on the Vark website itself. And first of all, I should have emailed you your um, uh, assessment of how you did on that Vark. So if I did not do that, shoot me an email so I can send that right back to you. So whether or not you participate, you sign the consent that you'll participate in the My Research study doesn't mean that you can't use this. So you for sure can use this information because my goal is to help you learn to study better and figure out what works for you as an individual. I think we get too bogged down with everything that we have available to us. So you need to hone in on what works for you. So we'll use Nursing 345 as an example. I've got your e-text in there. You've got case studies available to you. You have EAQs available to you. Then you have the mandatory lessons and then the mandatory EAQ that are the 20 question ones. So which ones help you learn well? And that's really where you want to focus your time. The additional reason why we include those EAQs is because, and I say it to you guys all the time, I'm sorry, we really are teaching to the test, and that test being the NCLEX and helping you prepare for NCLEX. When you guys get out of school and you go into your spot to take that NCLEX, I want you to sit down and be so confident and calm because we've been doing tests all along that it doesn't even make you nervous when you sit down to take that test. So by the time we get there, I feel like you guys will be ready for that. So on the Vark website, it tells you, first of all, you have to look at some help sheets. So I'm going to go to that in just a second. And then it tells you on the help sheets which one, how you follow that to do better and figure out how to learn better. And then it gives you a little bit of information down here about preferences are not a strength. You might learn well one way, but that's the only way you learn. So I wanted to look at the help sheets, and I can actually, if you shoot me an email and say, hey, my strength was visual strategies, can you send me the help sheets on this? If you can't find this online, I will gladly send this to you. So I've got all these available. I can pop it right to you. So let's look at, I think I'm going to do a kinesthetic because most of you guys, when I was looking at it, you were either kinesthetic strategies or multimodal. I think most of you are multimodal. And if you think about that, I think that has to do with how you learn better via different ways. So that is completely makes sense. So let's look at one of the help sheets here. So it's telling me when I am a kinesthetic learner that I learn through all my senses. I'm using everything to do better. I'm going to learn through experience, examples, case studies, trial and error. That means you guys, when you get to clinical, you'll start to feel more like a nurse. That's why you probably like being in the lab and manipulating on the mannequins. You like pulling up messing with the IVs, pulling up stuff in syringes. That type of physical presence it would speak to kinesthetic strategies. So people with kinesthetic preferences prefer to do these things. These are the things they learn better from. Practice problems, I like that one. To take in information. You use all of your senses to take in information, which is one of the things that we do try to do with Evolve. I use with my e-text feature, I use the audio where they talk it to me sometimes. Like if I'm cutting up vegetables for dinner or something like that, I'll have it read it to me, and that kind of helps. So being able to use all of your senses to get your information is interesting to me. So look at some of these things. How you present it to others. And I think this is interesting because I've struggled with this. If I'm a kinesthetic learner, it's hard for me to not move around when I talk, to not have examples when I talk. It's difficult to just do black and white information from a textbook. We like to think of it bigger. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And then in education, look at some of these things. Your notes may be poor because the topics were not concrete or relevant. And I think I can see a lot of us as nursing students struggling here because just like the example I did in class the other day, when I give you a multiple choice question and all 4 answers are right, you have a hard time picking out which one's the most right because they're all right. So being able to whittle down to that one concrete answer is really a challenge. Lots of examples it mentions, real world things, pictures, photographs. I like this things. Talk about your notes with another person who has a kinesthetic preference, and start asking your friends which one they learn better, and then stick with that person that learns the same as you. There's a benefit to having 45 of you guys in the program. Not all of you learn one way, you learn a variety of ways, so being able to tap into how other people are studying can really help you on this one. Role play, which we do that all the time in our lab. There you go. And then in the workplace, it'll tell you some things that are going to work for you when you get out in the workplace. But I really liked how this focused down to this are one of the things you want to use. So when you get to these, think about how can I use what's on here in my education and what Evolve's offering me. What things do I need to really focus on so that I'm doing well? Maybe the kinesthetic one, I gave the example in class about using the flashcards because that's a movement type issue, which helps. So again, if you want me to send you a help sheet about a specific learning style that was strong in your inventory, send me an email and I'll be glad to get this out to you. Otherwise, what I'm going to start researching, for those of you who provided me consent, is looking at, and I don't even have your name on my research study, I'm just looking at what type of learner you were. And then I can actually go into Evolve and see where you spend your time. So that's a really interesting thing. So if you're doing well, that means you're doing well on assessment pieces such as your lessons, your EAQs, your tests, and then eventually when we get to the HESI exam, if you did well on that, were you spending the time in the things that helped you learn, or were you spending time in something because you think you need to read every word in the chapter and that's really not what was beneficial to you? So it'll be interesting to me to kind of see how that pulls out, not only in this semester, but all the way through your NCLEX, through your boards. So again, holler at me if you want me to send you a help sheet on a specific one. Tell me which one you want me to send it to you on. Also holler at me if you did not get your results so I can send you that. And then anytime you just want to chat, other than this week, which has been hellacious with the snow and the cold, I'm in the office and I'd love to chat with you. Thanks, guys.